Welcome to the Stevenson High School 46th Credit Unit. School District 125 maintains a strong commitment to success for every student. A component of this effort is our dedication to substance abuse prevention. The 46th credit is one of the strategies we use to provide all Stevenson students with coordinated substance abuse awareness and prevention education. The unit consists of information on the topics of alcohol, nicotine, prescription medications, and illicit drugs. While most Patriots participate in this unit during their Stevenson Health class, we offered this electronic version for transfer students and those with special circumstances. It should take approximately 15 minutes and will include several questions for you to answer along the way, so please pay close attention to the material as we go. To start, let's identify a few key terms that will help us as we move forward. Experimentation refers to first-time use and/or experiencing the effects of drugs or alcohol. More regular use occurs after experimentation. This may include using on weekends. Use can be either in social situations or alone. Daily preoccupation is when someone uses substances often or even every day. Their life changes and starts to revolve around use. This may mean that the majority of their friends use, and a significant amount of time is spent thinking about using, seeking, or obtaining the substance, using, and recovering from the effects. At this stage, the person may no longer have an interest in activities or people that were once important to them. Addiction/chemical dependence is when it becomes necessary to use substances just to feel normal, function, or relieve withdrawal symptoms. If they abruptly stop use, they may experience withdrawal symptoms ranging from headaches and irritability to much more severe symptoms which require medical intervention. Recovery is an intense process in which an individual stops using and learns to live life without drugs or alcohol. It requires a complete overhaul in many behaviors and relationships. During recovery, an addict can experience periods of irrational thinking and may have a strong urge to return to using behaviors. During this time, they can seek assistance with a mental health or behavioral health professional through a rehab facility or in outpatient services. They may also find like-minded individuals in AA, NA, or similar 12-step programs. In each of these interventions, they will be encouraged to seek out non-using friends and end relationships with those who continue an active addiction or other forms of substance abuse. Without these interventions, they are more prone to relapse. Relapse is when someone working on recovery returns to substance use or the associated behaviors. There are several categories of substances: hallucinogens, opioids, stimulants, depressants, inhalants, and cannabis. They include both plant-based and synthetic substances. No one is better for you than another. All drugs can have a negative impact on your physical, social, and mental/emotional health. Our serotonin and dopamine levels affect our health and behavior. When someone uses drugs, these chemicals initially increase. This reinforces the desire to use again. However, over time, the chemicals begin to deplete, and the result is that they are at lower levels than normal. In some cases, even after someone stops using substances, they do not regain normal levels of either chemical in their brain. Alcohol and drug use that begins as a teen can cause permanent damage to the brain's ability to plan, recall, and access information. Specifically, alcohol and other drugs can have a negative impact on white matter, neuron connections, memory, and learning because the teen brain is still developing. Research shows us that the younger a person is when they start drinking or using drugs to get high, the more likely they are to become addicted. That is why Stevenson High School and its students believe that substance abuse education and prevention needs to be an important part of our curriculum. Not everyone will react the same way while under the influence of the same drug because of several factors, including environment, person's mood or mental health, physical health, expectations, dosage, and potency. The additional factor with illegal drugs is that they are not monitored for chemistry and dose. There is no way to ensure that you are even getting what was asked for. It could potentially include or be laced with many other substances. Also, when two drugs are mixed, whether they are prescribed, illegal, or over-the-counter, the outcome can be harmful or possibly even deadly because of the synergistic effect. This means that the combined effect of more than one drug is greater than the effect of each individual drug. You probably already know that smoking and tobacco use is one of the most preventable causes of disease and early death that is estimated to be responsible for over 1,200 deaths per day. Did you also know that marijuana contains 50 to 70% more cancer-causing agents than tobacco products? Some teens mistakenly think that it is safe because it is plant-based, but they forget that tobacco is a plant too. Marijuana is a completely different drug than it was in previous decades due to a significant increase in the amount of THC. Individuals approved for medical marijuana due to specific significant and debilitating medical conditions are known as certified card holders. Certified card holders may not drive under the influence or use in public places. They may only purchase a specified amount from a state-regulated dispensary. If students are prescribed a medication by your doctor or need over-the-counter medications during the school day, we are required to bring them to the East or West nurse's office before the school day starts. You can return there to take them as necessary throughout the day. Outside the nurse's office, possession of prescription or over-the-counter medications are considered prohibited substances and may result in school consequences, including suspension. Taking someone else's prescription drug is not only illegal, but is also extremely dangerous because the potency of the drug is based on a person's weight, severity of their illness, and other factors. If you believe you have a condition that requires medication, talk to your pediatrician who can help make that determination. No one should ever take medication that is not prescribed to them specifically. Research has also shown that the abuse of prescription painkillers are often a gateway to heroin because painkillers are harder to get and very expensive. Heroin can be cheaper and more readily available in nearby areas. It becomes an alternative for someone who is struggling with addiction. Both prescription painkillers and heroin are extremely dangerous and can both lead to physical dependence. Other than the physical, social, and mental/emotional consequences already mentioned, there are disciplinary consequences as well. Stevenson has very clear rules regarding substance use. If a student is caught under the influence or in possession of a prohibited substance at school, their belongings, locker, and car can all be searched. A first offense includes a mandatory suspension that can be reduced by participating in an approved drug treatment program. Subsequent offenses or distribution or sale could result in much more severe consequences, including expulsion. All offenses involving possession may also include police involvement. For anyone who participates in SHS athletics or clubs, there are additional rules and consequences. This is referred to the Co-Curricular Code of Conduct and is available online. For example, any member of a competitive club or team who is found in possession of a substance will receive the school consequences plus a suspension from their sport or club for 20 to 100% of the activity and loss of a leadership position if applicable. However, students who voluntarily self-report to their first alcohol or drug violation to the athletic, student activities, or fine arts directors may have their consequences reduced depending on the nature and severity of the situation. Jenny decides to throw a party at her home to celebrate her 17th birthday. Her parents allow it because she promises that there will be no alcohol or drugs. One of her friends decides to sneak alcohol and marijuana into the party and shares it with others. Scenario 1. Jenny's friend Megan is so intoxicated that she is throwing up and can barely stand. Jenny takes her to her room, puts her in a cold shower, gives her coffee, and then puts her in bed to sleep it off. Question: what should Jenny have done? Answer: check for consciousness, call 911, and care for Megan until help arrives. It is a myth that cold showers, coffee, or sleeping it off will help, and, in fact, it may cause more harm. On the way home, one of Jenny's friends, who chose to drink and smoke, gets into an accident that results in great bodily harm to others. Did you know that the driver of the car could face possible imprisonment for up to 12 years and a fine of $25,000? Did you also know that because of social host laws, Jenny's parents could be sued and serve jail time? The Stevenson community expects and encourages socialization with friends, but that does not require the use of alcohol or other drugs. The majority of Stevenson students do not use substances regularly, so it should feel comfortable for you to be sober as well. We know that you are at your best when you are not using. There is no reason to add drugs or alcohol to your already amazing self. We want you to make a decision to be confident and proud of who you are already. No one ever thinks that they will become addicted. However, if you decide to experiment, you are already on that path. To prevent experimentation, you can talk openly with your family about their expectations regarding drugs and alcohol, and select friends who share your views on non-use. It is also good to have a couple of refusal skills or strategies ready. You can simply say, "No thanks," or "I'm good." Most Stevenson students will not judge you negatively for choosing not to use. The vast majority of us make that decision already. Just look at how many of us there are members of Catalyst, our drug prevention club. If you have an interest in joining Catalyst or a concern related to substance use in yourself, another student, or a family member, stop by or email Dr. Cortese in Gold Student Services. She will be happy to help. Thanks for taking the time to participate in the 46th credit. You should be notified of your results shortly.